the way from Cleveland, Ohio. You can hear him every day on Raw Dog Satellite Radio. Give it up, put your hands together for Kirk Bogos!
There she goes. It's been fun working with her this weekend. How's everybody doing? Good? I'm not gonna, who cares? I love coming back here. It's one of my favorite comedy clubs in the country, Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. I love coming back here. I'm gonna start things off with a public service announcement. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to start things off with a public service announcement. This is for those of you who have these on your cars, from those of us who don't. Nobody gives a shit about your little stick-figured family, okay? I don't care if any boys or girls or dogs or cats. I saw a fish, a stick-figured fish. That's wrong. Check this out. I'm standing in line the other day at a CVS drugstore. I'm getting a prescription filled. And I realized that when I was growing up, I did every drug I could get my hands on to make the world around me really, really weird. Now that the world around me is really, really weird, I'm taking 40 milligrams of Prozac every day to make it normal. That's not right. I'll tell you what else isn't right. I spent a lot of time in hotels. And I can't open up that little wax paper package of soap in the shower. But I can still roll a joint doing 65 miles an hour down a freeway with a steering wheel tucked between my knees. So I think that's legal here in Michigan, right? I've had an interesting couple of 3 months. I was recently diagnosed with cancer. Not the kind of cancer I'm going to die in 6 months. I have a great insurance policy, and much to the disappointment of my wife, the doctor's only given me like 20, 30 more years to live, so in your face, bitch. I have prostate cancer. The doctor says to you, hey, what kind of cancer do you want? Tell him you want the prostate cancer, because that's the one that's like one of the most treatable cancers. The problem with prostate cancer, though, is that with all the advancements in medicine and technology, there's still only one way to examine, deal with the male prostate. Yeah, it's through your asshole. That's it. And other than an occasional two-finger visit from my urologist every couple of years, that's normally a one-way door out, you know? But lately it's been like one of those swinging doors in a Western saloon, you know? I've had so many people in and out of my ass over the last 3 months. Some of them are getting their mail there. That's how bad. That's how it's been incredible. I had to have a biopsy done. So I'm thinking it's going to be me, my doctor, his nurse. That's it. No. It was me, my doctor, his nurse, and 5 Cleveland Clinic medical students who are observing a prostate biopsy for the first time. So, I get into the room and they give me this stupid gown, you know, closed in the front, open in the back, and tells me to scoot up on the table. Look at me. Can you imagine? So I scooted. I scoot. I get up on the table and he puts me in this kind of like fetal position, you know, when the whole back is open. You're welcome for that visual. And this is what I hear from behind me. We're going to lube up the anal opening, and I'm going to insert the prostate protractor. We're going to rotate it 45 degrees so we get maximum penetration on the prostate. I start laughing. This is like the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And then I turn my head around, and this guy's holding this thing that looks like a goddamn caulking gun, you know? And I start laughing even more, and then one of the students says, "Doctor, it looks like there's a lot of flesh covering the anal opening. Do you need me to separate the buttocks?" Now I can't, I'm laughing my ass off, no pun intended. I can't stop. So here's something I learned. Some of you may or may not know this. When you're laughing Some of you know this, okay? Well, here's what happens. What happens is your sphincter has a mind of its own. It just kind of goes in and out while you're laughing. And my doctor starts yelling at me. He said, Kirk, you got to start laughing because I can't do the procedure if you're laughing. He said, if you do, I'm going to have to give you a shot and knock you out. I said, Doc, you know what? That's about the smartest thing I've heard you say all day. And as he gives me this shot, and as I start to fade off, I let out the biggest fart in the history of farts. And all I could think of was I turned around, these kids standing behind me and said, kids, that one's for you. Have a blessed day. And then I just kind of passed out. So if you want to have that kind of fun, get that prostate cancer. Just celebrated my 38th wedding anniversary. And no. That's equally divided between 4 women. I am not proud of that. I'm not proud of it. I put in the time, though. I get credit for the years. Some good things came out of being married, divorced that many times. My attorney is my best friend. Every summer he invites me up to the lake out on my boat. I'll give you a couple seconds to do the math on that one. Now here's what I learned. I learned that men and women are different. We come to the same point in time and space from 2 totally different perspectives and points of view. We have a different language, don't we? I see a lot of couples here. If my wife and I are having an argument and it ends with her saying, fine. Yeah, see, to her, that means I'm right, you're wrong, shut the fuck up. To me, that means I am so not getting laid tonight. The word disgusting. To most men, guys back me on this. Disgusting is acceptable. Hey, Kirk, look at this video I got. What is she going to do with that? Oh, my God. Man, that's disgusting. Delete it? Hell no. Send that over to my computer. Listen to this. Check this out. When we were dating, my wife wouldn't come over to my apartment because she said my carpet was too crunchy. Well, yeah, if you get off the path, yes. That's what the socks are for. It's clearly marked. Women, especially if you live with a man, disgusting is that floor right around the bottom of the toilet, you know, the sticky part. See, to us, that's just acceptable bathroom collateral damage. And no place on the planet is the difference between men and women more apparent than in public restrooms. See, men, we go into a public restroom full of total strangers. There are 2 rules. Rule number 1, no eye contact. Rule number 2, there's no talking. Last thing I want to hear from the dude standing at the urinal next to me is, nice watch. Women, you go into a public restroom full of total strangers. You come out 20 minutes later on the planning committee of a bridal shower. And you have a new recipe for meatloaf. How does that happen? How does that happen? All 3 of my marriages ended for, you okay? It sounded like you coughed up a sock. All 3 of my marriages ended for totally different reasons. My first marriage ended because I was in a failed mixed marriage. I'm white and she was a bitch, so that didn't work. My second marriage ended because after a while I thought she was fooling around, you know. So I just asked her one day, I said, are you cheating on me? And she said, not really. My third marriage ended. This is really bizarre. I got scared to death and left. Because every time we argued or got into a fight, she would threaten me. And I mean threaten me to the point where I thought, you know what? One of these days she really is going to shove a baseball bat up my ass and set it on fire. I don't want to be around when that happens. Now, my current wife, apparently that's a temporary title, is going through that Godzilla phase of menopause, you know. where she's breathing fire and stomping on small Japanese people. And fortunately, my son and I, we have this secret Navy SEAL sign language. Because I'll come home, and I'll know he's somewhere in the living area. And I'll go, Bill, Bill. Which means, where is she? And what's our alert level? He'll pop up from behind the couch, dressed like a bush. He'll go, which means she's downstairs. We're at DEFCON 4. If she looks at you, just smile. See, man, we don't know how to deal with menopause. We don't have a clue. So I got online, and I found these things from the 70s. Remember these mood rings? Remember these? Where they change color with your body temperature and measure your mood? I bought one. I got it online. I got her to wear it. I'll be a son of a bitch, they work. No, they do, because when she's in a good mood, it'll turn green. And when she's in a bad mood, it leaves a red mark on my face. So. Oh, I know, it's working. Here's my point. My point is that getting older just sucks. It does. And I don't care how old you are. 20, 30, 50, 80, doesn't matter. However old you are today, you just can't do shit today that you did 10 years ago. The problem is, when you get up to this end of the time continuum, the shit that you can't do really starts to piss you off. I mean, I just learned that anal leakage is not an urban myth. I didn't say it was going to be pretty. My wife said to me a couple of weeks ago, she said, let's go upstairs and have wild sex. I said, holy shit, I can't do both. You ever see how winded I am when I get to the top of the steps? Pick one or the other. I'm at that age where I see something and my brain goes, oh, I can do that, and my body goes, you do that, we die. My sex life is just, it's a disaster. It really is a disaster. I'm like an old lawnmower now. No, it's going to take 2 or 3 pulls to get me started. And once we do, we're definitely going to smell gas. I don't trust my farts anymore. There's a real watershed moment at the movies, huh? First time that happened, I cleared out like 6 rows, you know? I would have gotten up and gone to the bathroom, but I was really enjoying the movie. And the longer I sat there, the sensation wasn't that bad. So. Recently had to go to Philadelphia, and I had to rent a car when I got to Philly. I'm sure some of you rented cars before. I drive a 1999 Chevy Malibu, so I got like 600,000 miles in the city. I don't rent cars, but I rent this 2016 Chrysler Spaceship. I don't know what the fuck this thing was. And I get in and I leave the airport, and as I'm driving away, I look down on the dashboard. I can't believe it, but there it is. I see it, I can't believe it. There's a button. And you can select or deselect the passenger side airbag. Are you fucking kidding me? It's now up to me. If we have an accident, whether you live or go sailing through my goddamn windshield, that's a lot of pressure. Then I found out it costs like $1,200 to repack one of these. So now, not only has Chrysler put a price tag on your head, I got to decide if your life is worth $1,200. All I'm saying is, if I owe you money, you better drive. That's all I'm saying. I mentioned earlier that I grew up in the 60s and 70s. Look at all the great shit we gave you in the 60s and 70s. Gave you Star Trek, the Beatles, Slinky. Gave you great words and phrases in the 60s and 70s. Most of them aren't around anymore. When was the last time you heard, hey man, if you want this whole bag, it'll be $25. My favorite word, though, is still around. Usually hear it at a party. Somebody will walk up and go, ear. No, when I was growing up, we basically had two drugs. We basically had pot and acid. That's pretty much it. I remember the first time I did acid, I had this incredible political debate with my couch. And I lost, which is really the sad part of that story. No, my drug of choice in the 60s and 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s has always been grass. I mean, it's the least dangerous of all the recreational drugs, right? When was the last time you saw two guys smoking up at a party all night and then going out back and kicking the shit out of each other? Maybe over the last chocolate chip cookie, but that's... And for me, pot fits so nicely into all these little slots in my life. Grass and music, grass and sex, grass and oral sex. Hey, being stoned and getting a blowjob, that's like God's way of saying, hey, Kirk, have a nice day. I got to get out of here because I got another gig on Thursday. Before I do, though, I have a couple things for sale. I'll be outside. I have bumper stickers for sale. I suggest you buy these. Don't put them on your car. I suggest you buy them and slap them on somebody else's car. They say nobody gives a shit about your little stick-figured family. And wait, there's more. I actually really do have mood rings for sale. They really work. Mood rings are $5. Bumper stickers are 2 for $5. All of the net proceeds from my merchandise goes to herbal research. So, help the cause. It's a worthy cause. I was recently in the Cleveland Clinic for what is arguably the closest thing that men will come to childbirth. That's passing a kidney stone. Yeah, I hear assholes puckering up around the room. Did you ever see a kidney stone? They're not small, round, and smooth. No. They're these sharp, little, jagged, razor death fuckers is what they are. Your doctor says to you, Kirk, you have kidney stones. Give him all your money, give him your wife, blow the guy, whatever. But make him put you on a slow morphine drip for about 4 days. Because if you don't, kidney stones are going to make you make noises you have never heard before. In my hospital room, the guy in my hospital room said it sounded like somebody's trying to suck a cat through a vacuum cleaner. Here's what happens. Come that first slide, please. Okay, here we go. Starts up here in your kidney, picks up speed, makes its way all the way down the arrhythmic tube. Thank you, all you Annie Lennox fans, for getting that joke. I appreciate that. Into your scrotum. Now, if it hasn't gotten your attention by now, it's about to. Because now it starts whipping around and slicing and dicing, yeah. And then it looks up and sees light at the end of the tunnel. And now it starts to make its way slowly out the entire length of your penis. I swear to God, it was the first time in my life. I am so glad. My dick is only this big. You guys have been great. Thank you very much.